Shavua Tov, a gute Woche, and welcome to our program. Shabbos morning, we're at the Parsha of Va'elo, and Shabbos to Mincha, we started the Parsha of Shmeis, and this Shabbos is Shabbos Mevolchim of the Chodesh of Shvat. And the Chodesh of Shvat this year has a special significance. It is 70 years of the Nesius of the Rebbe, as you see on the sign, and as we will talk later in our program. In our Parsha, we find the Rebbe came to Moshe Rabbeinu, and he asked Moshe Rabbeinu, and he wanted to give him a special shlichus. Lech ve'ashlochacho el Parei. I will send you to Parei. Ve'hetzi esamei bnei Yisrael miMitzrayim. I'm giving you the greatest shlichus that could be. You are going to be my shliach, says Almighty God. And what's the shlichus? To take out the Jewish people from Mitzrayim. They are suffering there for so long, innocent men, women, and children. And therefore, I want to make you as my shliach. What should have Moshe Rabbeinu arguably have said? One word. As Avraham Avinu said, Hineni, I'm happy. Do you giving me a shlichus to take out the Jewish people? So we see constantly in Chumash that Moshe Rabbeinu had all kinds of terutzim. He wanted to know what is his name. They're going to ask me what is his name. And after the Rebbe told him his name in Parsha Shmeis, he still said, how are they going to believe me? They have to bring one proof and another proof, and the Rebbe gave him all the proofs. And after everything, we find in Parsha Va'elo, in the beginning of Shlishi, Vayemer Moshe lifnei Hashem. After everything, Moshe Rabbeinu says, Rabbeinu Shalom, Heinani aras v'sayim. I'm heavy mouthed. Vechi shmai Parei. Now, someone would ask, the Moshe, the Rebbe also knows. He knows what you could do. He knows what you cannot do. And what the Rebbe chose you as the shliach, he knows everything. So what do you come up with? I'm heavy-tongued, heavy-mouthed. The Rebbe knows all this. You should have said one word, I'm going. Now the story, the question can become stronger. Suppose the Rebbe calls in a chassid, and he says to the chassid, I want you to be my shliach in this town, in this country. And the chassid would start telling the Rebbe, why are you sending me? I have this problem, that problem. Shlach no b'yatli shlach, won't you send somebody else? Wait a minute, you're a chassid. The Rebbe called you into his room. And the Rebbe said to you, I want you to be my shliach to go in this town. So all you had to say, you say, I'm going. No, nothing else. Moshe Rabbeinu, all kinds of arguments. And on the end of all the questions, what is his name? And all the proofs, Moshe Rabbeinu says, wait. Heinani aras v'sayim. I'm heavy-mouthed, I can't talk. As if the Rebbe didn't know that. So what happened here? How do you reconcile all of the things that are happening here in the Parsha of Va'elo? Plus there's a question, what is the connection between the Parshas of Va'elo, the Parshas of Va'elo and Bei, and the time of Yud Shvat? We will return to that in a moment, but first, our customary story. We are now after Chof Dalet Teves, the time between Chof Dalet Teves and Yud Shvat. Chof Dalet Teves is the Yortzeit of the Alter Rebbe. Yud Shvat is the first day of Nesius of the Rebbe. And there has to be a connection, as we mentioned, between them. We find that the Alter Rebbe writes in Tanya in Perik Chof Beis, in the Geras HaKodesh Perik Chof Beis, the Alter Rebbe writes very clearly and unequivocally that you should not ask him any questions that have to do, the Alter Rebbe calls it Eitz Seis Be'etz or Gashmiis. Gedos Ma'ala Seis Be'inyan O'elam HaGashmi. Do not ask him any questions, any Gashmizdike questions, as to what to do in this Gashmizdike world. And the Alter Rebbe says, why? You can ask this only to navie mamish, Shmuel Horeya, and so on. But the Alter Rebbe says you shouldn't ask him. In Tanya, in the Geras HaKedesh, Siman Chof Beis, Daf Kuf Lamed Dalet. Print it. The Rebbe said many times, Be'esius with the boys, Shocher al Gabe Lovon, in square Asius, not in written script, in square Asius that we can understand, black and white. The Alter Rebbe says, do not come and ask me for Gashmizdike things. That has to do with a navie. We have to tell you to do it or not to do it, and so on. Ask him about a business, and the Rebbe would say, don't do this business. This business is not going to be good for you. That's navius. The Alter Rebbe says, don't do that. Now, throughout the generations, Chassidim knew what the Alter Rebbe wrote. They went into the Rebbes, and they asked questions about Luchnizdike matters also, but about Gashmizdike matters, about doing a business, about health. And the Rebbe answered, do the business, don't do the business, it's going to be good for you, it will not be good for you. Listen to the doctor, don't listen to the doctor, whatever the Rebbe answered on Gashmizdike matters. And Chassidim did that throughout the generations. How do you reconcile that with what the Alter Rebbe says that you shouldn't do it clearly? Talking about the connection between the Alter Rebbe and the Rebbe spoke about it in the first years of Nesius. And he mentioned what the Alter Rebbe said. And he said, Chassidim zijn niet nispol geworden von dem. Chassidim did not get excited about it. They read it, but they still asked about Gashmizdike things, and they got answered. And then the Rebbe said, Chassidim hob nit gemeilef al dem. Chassidim are not afraid of that. And if there is a need, as the Rebbe zal zijn a navie, is a navie. And if there is a need for the Rebbe to be also a navie, so the Rebbe is also a navie. Klal divurim. That if there's a need, then you come into the Rebbe, and you ask him a question, a Gashmizdike question, about whether you should do or not. Is it going to be successful or not? And the Rebbe answers you, yes, do it, or do not do it. Seeing the future, Nevi'us. Says the Rebbe very simply, he's not arguing with the Alter Rebbe. But he's saying that if there is a need for the Rebbe to be also a navie, so the Rebbe is also a navie. The Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe, and all the Nesiach Chabad throughout the generations. Now, Rabbi say, there's the question we asked before. There has to be a connection between the Parshias. We're talking about the Parshas of Vo'ero, the Parsha that we read on Shabbos, and the Parshas of Bei, the Parsha that we started reading Shabbos to Mincha, Vo'ero Shabbos morning, Bei Shabbos to Mincha, and the present situation. Now, we are now before Yud Shvat, mentioned. This is already Shabbos Mavolchim of Shvat. The Rebbe writes, or says in the Sikha, that the situation of Moshe Rabbeinu, or the situation of the previous Rebbe, was similar to the situation of Moshe Rabbeinu. We mentioned before that Moshe Rabbeinu was a situation where he said that he was kvad peh ukvad loshin. And number one, the question is, on Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was a kvad peh. He was heavy-mouthed. He couldn't talk well. That's what he says. And the question is, Rabbeinu Shalom, how do you understand that? There are millions of people in this world that talk all the time, that say nothing, but talk all the time. And they can talk. And there is no problem where they're talking. And they're free. They have freedom of speech, and they speak about everything. Things that are allowed to be spoken about. Things that are not allowed to be spoken about. In Yonim that are Hepech HaEmes, the Chilas, Lashon Hara, and people talk about it all the time, all over the world. and they have the power to do it. And what they say doesn't make any difference at all. You know the old saying, even people who have nothing to say talk all the time. And today with cell phones, forget about it. On the street, in the bus, in the subway, people are talking all the time. And they have the strength to talk. And Almighty God doesn't take away the power of speech from anyone. Now, the Jew whose speech is going to make the difference, not like millions and billions of people who talk, and their talk does not make any difference, and they could talk. There's one man whose talk is going to make the difference. Lech v'yeshlochacho el Padei, he will come to Padei, and he would say, Shalach asami, let my people go. We know the expression. And that is going to work. Maybe not at first, but ultimately it's going to work. That individual, he's heavy-mouthed. Everyone can talk, but Moshe Rabbeinu, kvat peh ukvat lo shenonechi. How do you understand that? Moreover, has to do with our parashiyas, the parashah that we read now, and the time of the year in which we are now, before Yud Shvat. The Rebbe says, and we will talk in a moment as to the timing when the Rebbe said that. The Rebbe said that by the previous Rebbe, in his last years in this world, in his last years in this world, his situation was bedugmas hamatzev. The Rebbe doesn't say exactly how it was. The Rebbe says that the situation of the previous Rebbe was similar to the situation of Moshe Rabbeinu. And by Moshe Rabbeinu it says, kvat peh ukvat lo shen. That Moshe Rabbeinu was, kvat peh, was heavy-mouthed and heavy-tongued. Moreover, the Rebbe says that even his doctor, who was also a professor, once asked the Rebbe a question. How can it be that his Yisurim, his pain, should touch upon his ability of speech? That's what the doctor, the professor, asked the Rebbe. To the extent where this does not let him fulfill his shlichus in this world. And why is that? A Rebbe speaks. A Rebbe says a maimer. In the maimer, the divrei Torah. In the maimer, there are directives to chassidim. The maimer is committed to writing. The writing is sent all over the world, and therefore has a ripple effect. So when the Rebbe talks, there's an effect from the Rebbe's talk in the entire world. An effect that has to do with learning, the Rebbe's Maimorim and Sichos, and an effect that has to do with deeds. The Rebbe says what to do more, to build more, and so on. The moment there are no Maimorim, because the situation is similar to that of Moshe Rabbeinu, and by Moshe Rabbeinu it says kvat peh ukvat lo shen. There are no Maimorim. There's nothing to send to Chassidim. Chassidim do not have new Maimorim to learn. There are no new directives. So this stops the entire movement, the entire operation of Chassidim and Chassidus. And that was the question. That was the question of the doctor. And then the Rebbe says, when are you talking? How can it be? Hat der Doktor gefragt, the doctor asked, als nicht gucken dik auf dem Allemen, zet man bei ihm Punkt am Hepech. Als seine Yesule Yakuf ongerilt, sein Keach adibel begashmias. That the pain, the physical pain that the Rebbe had, affected his ability begashmias, as so that he should be, that he had the situation similar to Moshe Rabbeinu, kvat peh ukvat lo shen. So there are two questions. There's the question about the previous Rebbe, that this affected his ability, and it affected his shlichus. And the original question on Moshe Rabbeinu, the whole world can talk, but one man whose words are going to make the difference, He cannot talk. Kvat peu, kvat lo shein onechi. I'm heavy-mouthed. I'm heavy-tongued. I can't talk. And the Rebbe brings a midrash. That the midrash says that the reason that Moshe Rabbeinu was kvat peu, kvat lo shein, heavy-mouthed and heavy-tongued, is because that the dibur hava begolusa, the dibur itself of Moshe was in golus. The golus was so strong that it affected the speech of Moshe Rabbeinu. That was part of the golus. Yes, you have a question, millions of people talk, but the golus was strong that it affected the speech of Moshe Rabbeinu. The golus doesn't care that millions of people talk. What difference does it make in their talk? Let them talk. But when the talk is going to make the difference, that's where golus didn't let. The dibur of Moshe Rabbeinu was in golus. And with this, we understand the dibur of the previous Rebbe that was similar to the situation of Moshe Rabbeinu. That was the golus. That's where the golus hit. When did the Rebbe talk about it? Before Yud Shvat Tovshin Nun Beis. Now it's known that throughout the generation, throughout the years, decades, the Rebbe never spoke about the situation, the physical situation of the previous Rebbe. Never mentioned anything. Talking about from Yud Shvat Tovshin Yud to Yud Shvat Tovshin Yud Aleph, not in the Tovshin Yuds, not in the 1950s, not in the 1960s, not in the 1970s, not in the 1980s. The Rebbe never mentioned anything about the situation of the previous Rebbe. That was like, there, we don't go there. Now, when did the Rebbe talk about it? Before Yud Shvat Tovshin Nun Beis. Just a few weeks before Chof Zayin Od Rishon Tovshin Nun Beis. The last Yud Shvat so far that we heard the Rebbe talk. This is when the Rebbe spoke about it. And perhaps, Rabbi say, there is a message here. That the Rebbe didn't only speak about the previous Rebbe. It goes further. We saw about the Rebbe. A situation similar to Moshe Rabbeinu. The Rebbe, with his mouth, with a mouth that he gave tens and thousands of people brachas constantly. Oh, my morim, siches, spoke Bakeshel Bracha, thousands of people every Sunday. And then, the situation similar to Moshe Rabbeinu, and even stronger. That affected the mouth. From everything, the mouth that kept the whole world alive. The mouth that gave brachas to everyone, to every person that is broken, that is in need of a bracha. To Klal Yisrael that needs brachas. To Rebbe Yisrael, to Klal Yisrael, Mamorim, Sichas, directives. All of a sudden, the same situation as Moshe Rabbeinu, and stronger. That hand, that right hand of the Rebbe, that hand that gave Keshel Bracha, that hand that gave dollars, that hand that uplifted the entire world. And as the Rebbe says, that navie of a tzaddik never gets lost. So when the Rebbe lifted up his hand, that navie is eternal. And then, in the right hand, the same situation. How do you understand that? And in our own mind, the only thing that we can understand, and even then, is that was begolus. The same situation with Moshe Rabbeinu, that the dibur was in golus, because that's where the golus hit. The golus hit the mouth and the hand, because that's what the golus is afraid of. The golus, he didn't wanted to make sure we shouldn't get out of golus so fast. So this is what it affected. In as much as we cannot understand it, but that's where the understanding goes. That the dibur of Moshe Rabbeinu was affected. because the Dibul was Begolus. Now the Rebbe, when he talks about the previous Rebbe, and about the matzav of the previous Rebbe, inasmuch as he only spoke about it just before Yud Shvat, Tovshin Beis, the last stop, the Rebbe didn't leave us in a morbid fashion. The Rebbe doesn't like to be morbid. The Rebbe likes simcha. And why did he say all of this? So he says it in the Sikha, that he's talking to us. And he's saying to us that we have the strength. We, those of us, as the Rebbe says, who are neshomes begufim, neshomes b'liyas begufim b'liyim, who are healthy neshomes and healthy bodies, who do have a hand, who do have feet, who do have a mouth, and we could speak good things. So the Rebbe says, we should be the part of Aaron HaKohen, just like Moshe Rabbeinu complained that he has a difficulty with his mouth. So the Rebbe said, Aaron HaKohen will be your mouth. We can do the same work that Aaron HaKohen did. And we can do, so to speak, the mouth of the Rebbe. And we can be the hands of the Rebbe. The mouth of the Rebbe to do good things. To say Divrei Torah. To speak about the Rebbe's Torah. To repeat the Rebbe's Torah. To say all the brachos to everyone that the Rebbe gave. The Divrei Idut, the words of encouragement, of strength, of inspiration that the Rebbe constantly spoke. We can relate that to everyone. We can also say hello to a person that we meet on the street. That's all part. And we say someone, even if we never saw him, we see a Jew in the Shabbos morning, good Shabbos. Even if you never saw him, you say good Shabbos to everyone. You say hello to everyone. You use the mouth that Almighty God gave you to do the right thing. And the hands that Almighty God gave you, and the feet. Baruch Hashem, you're a healthy person. As the expression is, neshames b'riyas begufim b'riyim. And the Rebbe says, we can do the same thing as Aaron HaKohen. We can be the Aaron HaKohen for the Rebbe. You know what that means? That the Rebbe, for whatever reason, is in a situation similar to that of Moshe Rabbeinu. So we can be in that same situation, similar to the situation of Moshe Rabbeinu. And who was the one who helped the Aaron HaKohen? We can be like Aaron HaKohen. We can be the Aaron HaKohen of the previous Rebbe. And we can be the Aaron HaKohen of our Rebbe. To speak the right things, to say the right things constantly, the Rebbe's Torah, and so on. Talking about the Rebbe's Torah, we're now before Yud Shvat. And it's a special Yud Shvat. It's 70 years of the Rebbe's Nesius. Mentioned on this program, on Purim of Tovshin Lamed Beis, the Rebbe spoke, as the Rebbe would speak every Purim, but interestingly, that Purim he said something that he didn't say the Purim before or the Purim after. That those who are preparing to give him a gift for Yud Aleph Nisan for his birthday, a little while after Purim, the Rebbe is asking the gift should be connected with Torah. Simultaneously, the Rebbe said that inasmuch as it's not really appropriate for one to ask as to what kind of gift he wants, because generally somebody wants to give a gift, you don't tell them what kind of gift. You know, I want a gift and I want this kind of gift. This is not appropriate to do. A gift, you get the gift that a person is giving you. And they are the ones who make the decision whether they should give you a gift and what kind of gift it should be. But for a person to say, you know, I want you to give me this and this kind of gift, that's generally not acceptable. But the Rebbe said, since you want to give a gift for the reason that you want to cause a nachas ruach, a good feeling, a happiness, so the Rebbe says, this is what's going to cause happiness. That your gift should be connected with an inyan of Torah. And I remember, one year, the family went into the Rebbe, it was before Yud Aleph Nisan. The Rebbe said to one of the children, a little boy, and the Rebbe said to him, "Vos for a matone gibst du mir für mein Yom Holedes?" What kind of gift are you going to give me for my birthday? So the Rebbe is talking about a gift for his birthday, and he wants the gift to be a gift of Torah. And when did the Rebbe say it? On Purim of what year? Tofshin Lamed Beis. The Rebbe didn't say it Tofshin Lamed Aleph. The Rebbe didn't say it Tofshin Lamed Gimel, not before, not after. Because Purim Tofshin Lamed Beis was before Yud Aleph Nisan Tofshin Lamed Beis. And on Yud Aleph Nisan Tofshin Lamed Beis, the Rebbe became 70 years old. So that was a special birthday. So the Rebbe didn't say it before, he didn't say it after, but he said it when it was the 70th birthday. On the 70th birthday, that was special, the Rebbe asked for the special gift. We are now in front of the 70th anniversary of the Rebbe's Nesius. And therefore the greatest matone we can give the Rebbe is a matone of Torah. Baruch Hashem, the Rebbe's Torah is in 250 volumes. Would you believe this? 250 volumes of Maimorim and Siches and Nigeris Kedesh and answers. 250 volumes. We have put those 250 volumes online. And if you check yudshvat70.com, yudshvat70.com, you will see that you can participate. Some people took a whole volume. We're not saying that everyone can do that. Some people took only one sikha. And you will see how many people participated. And when you will participate, first of all, you'll participate in whatever you want. In something big, in something small. The only one that is going to make that decision is only you. However, what you are going to gain is three things. Number one, you will create another form of Achdus Yisrael, because you will take something together with everyone. And if you register, you will give everyone strength. All your friends will know that you registered, that they could find out that you registered. It would help them. So it's going to be a greater Achdus Yisrael. Number two is going to be a gift of Torah. It's going to be Torah together. And number three, you will be giving a gift to our Rebbe. Any individual will be able to give a gift, and what the Rebbe wants, a gift of Torah. So please mark down yudshvat70.com, and you go in, and as a matter of fact, if what you want to learn was already distributed in Chalukah Aleph, Chalukah Beis, or Chalukah Gimel, you can go into Chalukah Daled or Chalukah Hey, and so on, and take whatever will please you more. And this is how all of us together will make a great gift for the Rebbe, a gift of Torah, and a gift of Achdus for the 70th year, Jubilee year of Nesius of the Rebbe. And as the Rebbe says in the Sikha, we, Almighty God, should give us the strength to be able to participate in doing exactly what the Rebbe wants us to do. And especially as the Rebbe is telling us, that we live in a special generation, the last generation of Golus and the first generation of Geulah. And our generation will be that generation that will see the Geulah Ha'amitis Ve'Ashleimo speedily in our very own days. Uvagolo didan uvsimcha uvtuv levov uveteiv anira vehaniglo lamata me'asarot tfachim uvechesed uverachamim v'teikef umiyad mamesh.